draw. Ooh, a new Cid outfit. That looks drab. Oh my God. All right, so we're not gonna delay. There's 2 outfits, so we've got some looking to do. So let's start with the aesthetics of Cid. First off, the Dragoon lance looks great. I love the purple. I think this looks rad. With like the light blue too. As you all know, the light blue is one of my favorite colors. So to have that with like the purple on the ends, this is hot. I love this. This is super cool. The outfit itself is better than I thought, but it's still kind of plain, you know? There's not a whole lot to it. It feels like, because it's got like the purple accents and stuff, so it's not quite as like, you know, brown. It's just very plain. You know, there's just not a lot to it. There's not like where they usually have a ton of insignias and like really cool features and some like throwbacks to part of like their character or their history or like the outfit that they're wearing. Like it's like even his stance. He's just standing there. He's just here. I don't know, man. I'm not a huge fan of the outfit. Which means it's probably going to be a massive outfit. So it's probably going to be really good. So let's start with the Dragoon Lance at OB10. It is Spark Stick. Magic lightning damage. Lightning resist all. Oh, with a 20% damage boost too. Ooh, with lightning or magic attack and lightning potency. This is really good. This is a really good weapon. This is a really good weapon. And this is a featured weapon, it said, right? This isn't unlimited. Yeah, this is a really good weapon. I wish it had a heal all slot. Again, I feel like we talk about this every time when we're talking about the tanks. Like having the access. Well, I guess Cid is technically not a tank. He's a support, right? So never mind. That makes more sense. Never mind. So 2 magic ability slots with an X sigil boost is great for a 674 magic attack, 670% AoE lightning. This is really good. And a lightning damage weapon that lowers lightning resist is really good, right? Because not only is this doing lightning damage, but it's also decreasing their ability to resist lightning damage while also getting a 20% buff if he has a buff on. So this is really strong. It's not like overpowered, it's just really good. And to have this in the feature draw is great. So not much else to say about this, honestly. I've mentioned before that Cid's kit is in general not awesome and needs some more like oomph, and this is the kind of oomph that he needs. So I'm grateful that he got something like this. This also pairs very well with the fact that Cid's rocket lance, which was his release limited weapon, has the enfeeble effect. And so what happens now is that when this lightning resist goes down and you add that enfeeble effect, it essentially adds an additional tier, right? So you can use this spark stick twice, get high lightning resist down to the entire enemy team, then enfeeble down, and it gets basically -4 to the main target, right? And generally speaking, when you're doing an area of effect resist down, the side adds, you don't need them to be at like -4, right? -3 is fine. Because then the cool part about that is once enfeeble is on, you're going to continue using this attack, which means this lightning resist down is going to stay on for the entire fight until his HP is low, right? As long as his HP stays above that 50% threshold, you're getting this lightning resist down and you're keeping this applied, which is awesome. So the only thing you have to reapply then is enfeeble, which is great. So yeah, no notes, man. This is a great featured weapon. It's very, very good. We don't have a lot of lightning options in the featured weapons, so it's nice to add some additional options. And for folks that, you know, struggle with lightning-based stages, this is a great weapon to have in the pool. So, W, big win. Let's look at Dark Flyer. Oh my God, they gave an Arcanum. Whoa, 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 time out. Holy crap, this is like the half anniversary banners or outfits. This is really good. All right, well, that changes everything. Now I love this outfit. That changes everything. Man, that's crazy. All right, so that's a 50% boost. Now, I did mention before in the last video that we had that had a similar outfit ability like this, but just as a reminder, attack stance, command gauge, max magic ability potency or damage plus 20%. This is only for ability damage. This does not include summons, right? So the other Arcanums that have 35% lightning damage, Ramu and Thunder Blizzard are going to do more damage with the 35% versus this one that has the combined 50. However, this is very, very good, and a 50% boost to a weapon that's already dealing, what is that? 20% of 67 is 134, so it's 134, right? Yeah. So it's about 800% damage in an area of effect. That's really good. Like, and then it adds a 50% boost on top of it. That's really, really good. Like, and then this outfit also has 15% magic and physical resist, right? For defenses. So this is really good. I have nothing bad to say about this. This is a very good, like, if this was just for this banner, this is a really good banner for a featured banner. Especially for a featured banner, this is great. And like I said, I love the way the weapon looks. So, yeah, and if it was just Cid, I tell you right now, this banner is great. It's difficult to say pull, because obviously I know that we just spent a whole lot of resources on half anniversary. However, I will say, if you do not have a electric arcanum in this game right now, this is only the, I believe, 5th that they've ever released. One is Clouds, which was the day 1 banner that has not been rerun. It has not rerun at all. One is the well, there were 2 Monster Hunter banners, so those were both limited banners. Neither one of those outfits have been rerun. There was the Halloween outfit for Vincent that has the 11 blade Arcanum that was the 35%, and now this one. Those are the 5. So just food for thought. If you don't have an electric Arcanum, this is really, really good. And this is like, I'm not gonna call it future proof because they are increasing the damage pools, right? Like 35% used to be the highest. Now this is 50%, right? So we've already seen this increase, but this increase just happened, right? It just happened last month in March. So this is the brand new, what we expect from an elemental effect. So food for thought, electric seems to be pretty uncommon. And obviously there are a lot of electric weak enemies in this game, like a lot of electric weak enemies in this game. So if you don't have an outfit for an electric Arcanum, this is a great option, and one that gives Cid defensive abilities, which is great, and really good offensive abilities that would enable him to not only be a fantastic support, but also deal a really respectable amount of damage with this additional 50%. So, food for thought, I think this outfit's great. It's all gonna boil down to the second outfit, which, talking about the aesthetics, I like how the stripey on the gun. I can't zoom in on the gun without zooming in on anything else. I like the little candy cane looking on the nozzle, the end of the barrel. I think that's pretty cool. Little star on the handle too. The hat's cute. We're always big fans of Hat Day here. I don't know why she's got blonde highlights. Well, there's our thumbnail, everybody. It's very 90s 2000s, right? Like the little bit of like the little blonde streak. I was never a fan of this hairstyle with like the highlights. I was never a fan of it. The leg lamp, that's crazy. You're so right though. You're so right though. Oh God, I like Lucia as a character too. And I really wanted to have an outfit for her that was like good, that I could like invest in. All right, so I mentioned Fragile must be Italian. Yeah, it's Earth. So I mentioned during the Odin fight and during the guild battle that right now physical earth is in a really weird spot because you don't have a weapon that does enough, right? Like there is always going to be something missing from your team, whether it was an AoE heal, some kind of defensive effect, some kind of missing debuff. There just wasn't enough weapon slots in the 3 characters that you would use for the physical earth team specifically that had the ability to do everything that you needed it to do. And now they do, because now they just added a brand new featured physical earth weapon that not only decreases earth resist, it also decreases physical defense at the same time, both going to high at OB10, while also dealing a very good amount of damage. This is ridiculously strong and will make Lucia a guaranteed member of basically any physical earth party moving forward. This is very good. Not exaggerating, this is very, very good. If you pulled on Tifa's banner and you have this at OB and you have her weapon at OB10, this will be on your wish list on any banner you pull on moving forward. This is a must-have item for your physical earth team. This essentially allows Angeal to not have to bring his greatsword that lowers physical defense or his Shinra sword that lowers earth resist. He can throw them both to the side and bring in a weapon that increases your entire team's physical defense and physical attack, while also bringing in another weapon that now debuffs the opponent's physical attack, magic attack, whatever, right? Now you get that option with your tank to have tank stats instead of being a support, a glorified support. So this now makes the last 3 featured weapons have all been very, very good. I want to shout out really quickly. I want to shout out Applibot and Square for actually listening to the community, because not only did they give us the option to be able to go back and pull for the old weapons, like the old limited weapons, and they're going to continue adding more to that pool. But now, after the half anniversary, we've gotten not 1, not 2, but 3 fantastic featured weapons that are now all going to be added to the pool. And I'm assuming all 3 of these outfits are going to be amazing. I bet you this is going to be an Earth Arcanum. This is much, much better. I hope they continue adding featured banners in the future and they don't go back to the limited ones immediately. But this is another very, very good limited or featured weapon rather. And I'm grateful that they actually listen to the community. I am. Physical attack and physical ability potency are both very good R abilities. Obviously, you don't have earth potency here, which is a little awkward. It does put it in an awkward spot if you wanted her to do earth damage. So I bet you that her outfit might be, I'm wondering if her outfit's going to be that Omni Arcanum. We'll have to wait and see. Materia slots are all good. This is great. 684 physical attack is fantastic. This is another great weapon. This is another great weapon. All 3 of these featured weapons that they've added are easily top tier weapons for all of these characters. Easily. Healer's Tailcoat. Let's take a look and see what we got. We got Physical and Magic Ward, which is 15% magic and physical defense. And Earth and Silk Hat is an Arcanum. Yep. Yep, it's an Arcanum. Wow. So yeah, this is really good. This is really good. Like I said, she does miss the top end damage when it comes to dealing earth damage specifically, but they are adding a lot of earth physical options. So she's going to have some more options available to her, especially because Tifa really only needs Sequoia Dendron in the back. With it, if you have OB10 Sequoia Dendron and OB10 Gauntlet of the Worthy, you're getting level 8 earth potency anyway. So any of the other earth weapon or earth potency weapons that were available, you can just use those as sub weapons for Lucia at this point. And Lucia really replaces Yuffie, right? In that team comp we were building before, because Yuffie can't lower earth resist or physical defense, and Lucia now can do both with one weapon. So yeah, this is both of these are very, very good. And like I mentioned before, the same thing with Cid. There are only 2 physical earth arcanums in the game. Odin has been added into the game. It seems like they are going to add more earth weak enemies, so that is food for thought. I'm not going to go over Zack's ultimate weapon again. If you missed that, you can check out my Zack video over on YouTube. When I ran over the Zack banner, we talked about Zack's ultimate weapon there. In terms of this banner in particular, though, I have to admit, if we hadn't just pulled on anniversary, half anniversary, this would be like Wow, and the stamp card's great too. If we hadn't just pulled on half anniversary, this would be like almost a must pull, right? Either of these two outfits is definitely super usable. It's definitely super useful, and it's hard to say it's hard to avoid it, right? It's hard to just be like, you know, you shouldn't pull on this. I think that if you have Arcanums for Earth and Lightning, you can probably avoid this banner pretty easily, because the weapons themselves are so useful on their own that you don't really need the Arcanums. But for both of those characters, who are both support characters, having the extra 15% to both defenses and a huge 50% boost to their elemental damage of that elemental type is very, very, very good. Like very, very, very good. So if money's no object and you're able to spend a little money, hey, by all means, man, this is a great banner. Both weapons are great. Both outfits are great. Really quickly, just touching base on the outfit for Aerith. They did update her magic ability potency to 15, which gets it to the level 3 break automatically. It's also the old Arcanum, so it's a 35% boost to fire damage. If you have it already, that's an excellent buff to an already really good outfit. Obviously, it's been power crept a bit at this point, but with a big caveat, but it is still really, really strong, right? The Fireblade Arcanum. If you are pulling on this banner, that is the last outfit you're getting. Just so we're clear, you are not getting that outfit before the other two. The other two outfits are way better. Like way better. So for the folks that did get the classic Coney outfit, congratulations on their very, very solid buff. Getting that level 3 break automatically is awesome, because I believe that's a 30%. It's still not as good as the other two outfits on this banner, but it's solid. It's definitely solid. All right, in terms of the wish list, we're gonna start with Cid. So Cid's weapon is a magic electric weapon, so you do want to try to build stuff around this magic electric weapon and how great it is. Obviously, if you have his rocket lance already, that's probably going to be your offhand weapon for him. It gives attack all allies and does the enfeeble effect, which makes that lightning resist down even more potent, which makes it very, very good. If you're looking for a defensive option, there are a few weapons here that you can go with. The I think it's the poleaxe. The poleaxe is an area of effect, physical attack, and magic attack decrease, which is great. This is a great weapon to add on as a sub weapon. Gives a lot of boost HP, gives him some of that tankiness, right? That'll match well with his Arcanum outfit that gives 15% to both defenses. Mixed ability damage, which isn't as good, obviously, because we already know we're doing magic, but still, it's not bad. Other option is you can also give him the buff weapon that he has available, which is the Scimitar. Scimitar is always good, even though it does ice damage up, which isn't great. Being able to boost either of physical or magic attack is also very good. Gets buff debuff extension, which is excellent for his thunder resist down, just so we're clear. That part in particular is very, very good, because if you have this at OB10 in his offhand, that means the effect duration of his thunder resist down is up by 120%. That is a massive duration increase, right? It essentially doubles and plus more the duration that it already had. So instead of 30 seconds, it's now a full minute plus, because it's got an additional 20% on top of that. So food for thought. It's also very good in the offhand. The what was it? Was it the flare that was diamond sigil? Yeah, the flare has diamond sigil break. This has physical ability potency, so it's not that good. I think for me, it's probably either poleaxe or scimitar. And this is where we come back to Cid's not very good. Like, his kit's not very good. He has some really cool effects, and I do think eventually he will be great. But until he gets some more options that can really like help him shine, he's really gonna struggle to find like a really good offhand weapon if you did not pull on the rocket lance. If you did pull on the rocket lance, you're totally fine, right? But if you didn't, I think for me, it's going to be scimitar or poleaxe. It's going to depend on really what you want. If you want something good, I would probably just focus on the scimitar, just because I love the buff debuff extension. Yeah, so you'll be fine, Enzo. Yeah, that's perfect. You can just keep that up in that offhand and you'll be absolutely fine, right? But for folks that don't have the rocket lance, I do think scimitar is probably the highest priority for me. Obviously, having an AoE debuff with the poleaxe is also very good. There's nothing wrong with this at all. So if you wanted to have that instead and let him have the ability to debuff the opponent, this is great. Otherwise, I think that's the only one I would include. And then if you're focusing on Cid doing magic damage, or specifically boofing, buffing up his damage, we're looking for specifically lightning potency effects. We already have 46 magic because we're assuming that this is going to be OB10. So we're looking at other options that do that with 52 magic ability or lightning potency, and look no further than the CC Alloy Sword. This is a 31 magic attack sub-weapon, which would max out his magic attack at OB10 with his new Dragoon Lance, with a 52 lightning potency buff. What this does is this, combined with the Dragoon Lance at OB10, puts you at that 65 point break for elemental potency, which is the sweet spot and where things start to fall off a little bit. So instead of a 15% boost, you start to get 10 when you go up to the next level, right? Puts you right at the nose at 65 points when this is OB10 and that is OB10. That's a great combination, and that would mean that that's the only lightning weapon damage that you would need for him. And then past that, you can look at survivability and you can look at magic ability potency, of which there are so many options. When it comes to picking one that is stronger than the other, obviously I've mentioned before that Electro Cannon is the best magic damage sub-weapon in the game, or magic focus sub-weapon in the game. In this case, he doesn't need the magic attack, so it's not as useful, right? So you're looking for stuff like Power Soul, which does magic ability potency and boost HP. You're looking at things like Cait Sith. Cait Sith has a magic focused, or a heal focused one actually, that does boost attack and magic ability potency. This is more offensively focused, which is nice. Vincent has a few weapons that have availability. You can look at the Sawed-Off GS, which is 31 attack and boost magic ability potency by 52. So this gives you a 16 point attack, which gives you that extra 7% magic attack. And then this gets your magic ability potency up to 26, which is a 45% break, which is excellent. And then in the last slot for Cid, I'd probably look at something defensive. I'd be looking at something like physical defense, HP, things in that nature to try to like improve his ability to do so. Things like I mentioned, the previously mentioned Power Soul gives him boost HP, magic ability potency. I think those are both great options. Remember that in this case, if you're building your Cid out, even if you're building him out for damage, he's still the support role on that team. He may be your best damage dealer in Lightning, and that's absolutely fine. But even at OB10, that Crow Familiar weapon for Vincent is going to deal obscene amounts of damage alongside this weapon. And that's without Vincent's Arcanum attached, right? It does 1128% damage, that Crow Familiar does, with the buff included. Which is obviously that's over 300% higher than Cid's cap, right? Even though Cid's getting an extra 50% from the Arcanum, which does, obviously that adds up, and that will bring him around the same. That Crow Familiar is going to be very, very powerful alongside this. And so to that end, that's what I would recommend as the last weapon on the list, would be the Crow Familiar, because again, at maxed out, it's 1128%. It's also very, 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 very strong. Okay, and that would be my wish list for Cid. It'd be Scimitar. Again, Scimitar only if you don't have Rocket Lance. I think this is a great offhand weapon if you do not have Rocket Lance. If you do have Rocket Lance, I would use Rocket Lance. Then I've got CC Alloy Sword, Sawed-Off GS, Power Soul, and the Crow Familiar. All right, so building a wish list for Lucia. Lucia is a physical earth damage dealer now with this weapon. And so because of that, we're looking for specifically earth potency, and because her weapon does not have earth potency included, that makes it a lot easier for us to turn around and find weapons that not only help with her physical attack, but also just focus in on just earth potency. So the immediate answer, first and foremost, is just Hawkeye. Hawkeye is a great physical attack weapon that has physical attack and earth potency. This would max out her physical attack and get her started on earth potency as well. And remember that at this point, I'm assuming that Sequoia Dendron is being used on your Tifa. If you're pulling for specifically Lucia, I'm assuming you have Tifa at a decent level. And Sequoia Dendron is a great weapon for Tifa to hold. However, if this is not at OB10, this is something I absolutely recommend being on your wish list. The other earth potency weapons are all magic damage focused, except for the Leather Collar. Leather Collar is boost HP and earth potency. Right now, if in my current Tifa build, she's not using this. So that means Lucia can. Between this weapon giving Earth Potency 39 and this weapon giving Earth Potency 39, that's getting you that's giving you 38 points, which is getting you the 55% boost. You can tell that this is going to be a little tight with those two weapons in particular. So if you're looking at those two weapons, that's really all you've got for Earth Potency. There's not a lot else to add here, except for I would look at Heavy Vulcan as a defensive option, because it gives magic defense, which is obviously very, very strong and very helpful in the later game fights and the higher level content. But it also gives another 39 points of boost Earth Potency, which gives another 19 points. And then 19 points times 3, you can do the math, right? 57 points gets you up to 85%, right? So that 85% is great, gives her some defensive options. You have boost HP, boost magic defense, boost physical attack. And then in her offhand, because we didn't talk about Lucia's offhand weapon, she's also got the, what is it? Mad Minute. Where are you, Mad Minute? There you go. Mad Minute gives boost HP and boost physical ability potency with a magic attack decrease. I think this weapon's what I would run in her offhand personally, just because it gives some more defensive options. It also gives another 26 points of physical ability potency. And then with her main hand weapon giving her 39 already, this maxes her out, right? So then she's got maxed out physical ability potency just with this one weapon. So that makes that a pretty easy choice. And so yeah, that's what I would run. That's what I would run. I'd run Hawkeye, Sequoia Dendron, just for the extra physical attack and Earth Potency. I think this should go on your main DPS, so on your Tifa as an example. Leather Collar for some boost HP and Earth Potency with a physical focus. Then I'd run in her offhand the Mad Minute because it gives HP and physical ability potency, maxes out your physical ability potency, which is great, while also having a magic attack debuff, which is also great. And then last but not least is the Heavy Vulcan, which gives magic defense, which is a very good sub weapon and a very nice tanky option, while also giving another 19 points of Earth Potency, which helps her get to that level 7 break. And that's what I would run for the Earth Potency Lucia build for the wish list. All in all, both of these outfits, both of these weapons are both very good. It's hard for me to say like don't pull for this, because the answer is if you had the resources and you don't have arcanums for either of those elements, you should. That's how all arcanums go though. So if you don't have an arcanum and you find one that you like, both of these are strong. I do think that the limit break banners that are available right now are a slight bit stronger, just because the weapons that they come with also come with some really strong effects. But these are both great support options for already very, very good builds. So if you pulled for Tifa, this Lucia weapon is going to be your bread and butter moving forward. And you probably want this outfit, I'll be honest, just for the extra earth damage. That's going to make your earth DPS go through the roof, which is obviously very good. But again, we're going to be kind of tight on resources, and there will be another event where there's limited outfits, limited weapons, etc. So right now, it's probably best to save. It's probably best to save if you're free to play. But in terms of a featured banner, this is the closest I've ever been to just outright saying you need to pull on this. So great banner, great weapons, great outfits. If you're struggling with resources, I think I'd probably hang tight. This banner's only out for 3 weeks, and so we're not going to get a ton of resources in the meantime to really be able to get to that level, to be able to get to the stamp, like through the stamp card to get the outfit outside of lucky stamps, right? And so for me, it's a skip for me personally. I don't want to though. I want the Lucia outfit. I want the Lucia weapon. And if I had more than 6,000 crystals available right now, I would be pulling, but I don't. So I'm not.